Hi guys, welcome back to our capsule videos. In the previous capsule, we have discussed about government companies, exemptions, modifications, conditions in the Companies Act. And now in this present capsule, capsule number 4, we are going to discuss about private companies, right? Private companies regarding we are going to discuss in this capsule. Why private companies, why people prefer private companies? The main thing is compliance. If you compare both the private companies and public companies, the main difference will be the compliance requirement. There will be less compliance requirement for private companies and comparatively more for public companies. While reading the Enter Companies Act, you may come across these lines like, for example, this section is not applicable to the private company, or this section is not applicable to the private company with certain exceptions, certain modifications, certain conditions, right? Going to our topic, to our first point, exemptions in the private companies. 138. What is 138? Internal auditor. Internal auditor's applicability we know, right? We'll remember with a technique called double PPT, right? Double PPT. What is double PPT? Deposits, paid up share capital, borrowings, turnover. 25, 50, 100, 200. It is doubling. 25 crores or more, 50 crores or more. In this borrowing, it is exceeding 100 crores or more, 200 crores or more. If it's a listed company, it has to appoint internal auditor, and if it's a public company, it has to, unlisted public company, it has to see these conditions. If it satisfies the conditions, it has to appoint. In case it's a private company, only the last 2 points will be applicable to the private company. Then it has to appoint a internal auditor. As we can see here, the same thing. Only private companies having a turnover of 200 crores or more, outstanding borrowings, loans from banks or public financial institutions exceeding 100 crores or more at any point means during the year also, if it exceeds 120 crores, but at the end of year it comes to 90 crores, then also the private company has to appoint internal auditor, right? Coming to our next section, 139, that is rotation of auditors. 139 is related to rotation, appointment, everything. Rotation of auditors. But where rotation of auditors is applicable, all the listed companies, rotation of auditors is applicable. In case of a public company, the paid up share capital is 10 crores or more. And in case of a private company, the paid up capital is 50 crores or more. Or all the companies, either public or private, the borrowings, you will see here, the borrowings, public borrowings, financial institutions, banks or public deposits, 50 crores or more. You have to be very careful. We will forget to add the public deposits in exam. Very careful in this regard. If they will give the balance sheet of items, then the public deposits also will be there. They have to add the public deposit for the calculating the amount limit, 50 crores or more. Coming to our next 141 subsection 3 class G, that is regarding to the disqualifications of auditor. In this disqualification of auditor, that is particularly G is related to the number of audits. 20 audits. For example, an internal auditor, a auditor can have 20 audits, right? In that particular section. In that particular section, 1% company, the government company, small companies, and a private company having paid up share capital of less than 100 crores shall not be counted for that particular limit. You have to be very careful. It is less than here. In the question, if they have given 100 crores, right? 100 crores, then such private company shall be added in this limit. Even only if it is less than 100 crores, then it shall not be considered for the 20 limit, number of audits limit. And coming to our next point, that is 143.3. That is 143.3 is relating to the rights and duties. That is reporting of auditors, right? In that informations shall be obtained. Branch auditor report shall be obtained. How they are dealt, books of accounts, profit and loss account shall agree with the trial balance. So many points will be there. Adverse remarks, maintenance of proper records, proper system for safeguarding of assets. So many points will be there in that. Among them, one point is like internal financial control system in audit report. Internal auditor has to report on the internal financial control system in his audited report under section 143 subsection 3 class I. In that particular, it is not applicable to the following, right? In case of a private company, which is a OPC or small company, or the company's turnover is less than 50 crores, and very careful here, it is and word is given, aggregate borrowings is less than 25 crores. If it is a private company and its turnover is less than 50 crores and its aggregate borrowings is less than 25 crores, then internal financial reporting system in audit report, auditor shall not be required to report, right? If it is more than 50 crores, if it is 50 crores, if only one condition is satisfied, then auditor has to report internal financial systems in his audit report, even if it is a private company. Coming to our next point, 149 women director 149 subsection 1 second proviso, rule 3, women director, right? Appointment of women director is not mandatory. There is an applicability limit for women director. If we consider, it is applicable to all the listed companies and the public unlisted companies whose turnover is 300 crores or more, or whose public paid up share capital is 100 crores or more. Then it is applicable to the particular women director requirement is applicable to that particular company. So here in this point, private company, no need to appoint women director, right? Coming to our section 160 point, right of person, that is regular director, right of persons other than the retiring director to stand for directorship. For example, if I want to become a director, then I have to apply under section 160 to the company, and I have to make my requirements, like I have done so many requirements there, and I have to deposit some amount. That thing is not applicable to the section to the private companies. Then going to our next section, 162 is, we have already seen in our previous video also, government companies also, and even in our previous video, that is appointment of directors to be void individually, that is only no vote cast against such resolution point, right? In that particular also, section 162 is not applicable to the private companies, meaning if 2 or more directors have to appoint it in a single resolution, then it is possible if it is a private company. If it is public company, prior to such resolution, a separate resolution is to pass in which no votes cast against such resolution shall be obtained, right? We have already discussed in our previous video. And going back to our next point, 164.3. What is 164? 164 what? Disqualifications, right? Disqualifications of directors. 164.1, some points will be there, like unsound, discharge, insolvent, convicted, moral turpitude, right? 164.2 will be there, financial statements 3 consecutive years, annuity in 3 consecutive years, debentures, maturity not prepaid with interest, dividend not paid, deposits with interest not paid, right? That point, in such case it attracts disqualifications. The same thing applies to the private company also, but private company, if it decides in its articles, right, if it decides in its AOA, can have some additional requirements for the disqualification of directors, right? For example, it may mention anything. If this item is not fulfilled, if this particular point is not fulfilled, then director is disqualified. Coming to the same 167 shall be read in with combined, right? 167 is related to vacation. If a director has attracted disqualification in 164, he has to vacate under section 167. In the same way, the vacation, some grounds will be there. For that also, private company, if it's things sufficient, it can, in its articles of association, can have some additional vacation points, right? Coming to our next slide, 173 subsection 5. What is 173? Board meetings. Okay, board meetings. For example, if the company has incorporated now, within 30 days it has to, the first board meeting shall be there. The maximum time gap shall be 120 days. In every year, 4 board meetings shall be conducted. That is a calendar year. 4 board meetings shall be conducted. There are certain exceptions, that is modifications, the conditions given for the following companies: OPC, small company, dormant company, private company. If a private company is a startup, at least one board meeting each half of the calendar year, and gap between them not less than 90 days. You have to be very careful in this gap. In the 4 board meetings, general public company, that is a maximum gap. Here it is a minimum gap, right? In that public company, the maximum gap shall be 120 days. 121 days it shall not be there. Maximum gap shall be 120 days. For example, in this private company limit, the minimum gap means for every board meeting there shall be gap of 90 days shall be there, right? That to the private company shall be startup as per the definition of the startup given in the Companies Act. Going to our next 174.3. 174 is related to the quorum, right? Quorum for meetings of board. Interested director has disclosed his interest, counted for quorum. if it is a case of private company, any interested director is there under section according to 184. If such director has given his has disclosed his interest to the board before such meeting, then he shall be counted in the quorum limit. It is given as relaxation to the private company, because most of the private companies, the directors will be the relatives or known persons. For that reason, 177, coming to 177 is relating to our audit committee, right? Audit committee also, there is applicability is there, listed company is there, paid up capital, some applicability is there. For applicability, we are going to make a separate video. In that audit committee also, private company is not required to constitute audit committee, right? 177.9, visual mechanism. The same section is in the same section 177, visual mechanism is there. When visual mechanism is applicable to all the listed companies, the company is accepting public deposits, or the company having borrowed money from banks or financial institutions excess of 50 crores or more. Here the word excess is given 51 crores, right? If it is excess of 50 crores, then in case even if it is a private company, visual mechanism has to be constituted. Visual mechanism commission has to be constituted. Committee has to be constituted, right? Coming to our next point, 178. That is NRC, Nomination Remuneration Committee. The same applicability limit as the 177, and same is independent directors applicability also. In that case also, private company is not required to constitute NRC, right? And coming to our next 180, restrictions on powers of board. Restriction on powers of board. 179 gives the general powers, 180 puts the restrictions. 180 law A, B, C, D will be there. Undertakings, compensation, borrowed money, limit existing borrower together, limit will be there, and remittance to the debt by the director will be there. That point, so many requirements, ordinary resolution is to pass, board resolution is to pass. Thus, the requirement is not applicable to the private company. Here we will read, right? Section 180 shall not apply. Private company shall not to be required consent of the company by special resolution for following the transactions. That is the following A, B, C, D transactions. Going to our next section 184 subsection 2, that is disclosure of interest. This is the same point as we have discussed already in our quorum point, that is 174 subsection 3. The same. If any interested director and many may participate in the meeting after disclosure of his interest. Same like 174.3 as we discussed already. And coming to 185. 185 is loans to directors. That is our 10 sections will be there, 185 and 186, right? In that 185 also we'll read. Section 185 pertaining to loans and directors of other persons in whom director is interested shall not apply to a private company. Means the procedure in the section maintenance shall not apply to the private company. If the in that private company, the whole share, whose share capital is in whose share capital no body corporate has invested any money. Means if there is a private company, in that private company no body corporate should have invested, that is no body corporate should have purchased the private company shares. And it is an uncondition. If you see, if the borrowing of such company from the banks or financial institutions or any body corporate is less than twice of its paid up capital or 50 crores, whichever is lower, and such a company has no default in repayment of such borrowings subsisting at the time of making transactions under this section. It should not have any default in respect of a repayment of its borrowings. If these three conditions are satisfied to a private company, the procedure mentioned in section 185 is not applicable, right? And going to our next 188. 188 is related to the related parties. Even this section is the same as like 174.3 and 184 as we already discussed. Means member can vote even if it's a related party. We can vote because the private company, most of them are relatives and known persons. And coming to our next section, 190. 190, contract of employment with MD or whole-time director. For example, if there is a contract of service between the MD and whole-time director, such thing shall be documented in the separate register, and members can inspect the register according to section 190. But in case of private company, such a contract of service record maintenance is not required, right? And it is not very important for exam point of view. We are just discussed here. 196, 4 and 5. What is 196? Appointment of MD, that is managerial personnel, MD, whole-time director, manager. Appointment and filing of MR is not applicable. For example, if managing director, whole-time director needs to be appointed, a board meeting shall be passed, a resolution shall be passed, and approval of central government Schedule 5 requirements. So many things will be there, right? For this, that is not applicable to the private company. And even the MR1, when MR1 will be passed, if the company has appointed the MD, the company has to disclose its disclose to the ROC in MR1, that is managerial remuneration form 1. That they can also not applicable to the private company. That is, it is not required to file MR1 with the ROC. Coming to our next section, 197, limits for managerial remuneration. Limits, that is limits 10, 11%, 1%, 3%, 5%. So many limits are there. The effective capital, Schedule 5. Those and everything is not applicable to private company. Coming to our next, last but one topic, 203, appointment of KMP, right? Appointment of MD, CEO, manager, whole-time director, CFO, CS is not applicable. The applicable limit is 10 crores or more. The paid up capital shall be 10 crores or more for all the public companies. If it is a private company, if any company is having public paid up share capital of 5 crores or more, if it is 5 crores or more, but it is less than the 10 crores limit, then it shall need to appoint the whole-time company secretary. This is very unique point. Whole-time secretary, even though here it is not applicable, here private company CS needs to be appointed. Consider this in mind. And coming to our last topic of discussion, that is section 204. Section 204 is secretarial audit for bigger companies. Bigger companies, we can compare this 204 section with the women director. Women director, what is the criteria? TP criteria. TP criteria means the turnover criteria and paid up share capital criteria. 300 crores, 100 crores. Then it is applicable. Here in the same case, this minus 50 we have to do. That is, if the turnover is 250 crores or more, and if the paid up share capital is 50 crores or more, then that appointment, then that is secretarial audit need to be conducted for the company. Even this, in this case, the private company limit is not applicable to the secretarial audit, right? And this is all for today. Please subscribe this channel for more updates. Thank you. And our next topic will be on section 8, the same. It is exemptions related to section 8. We have already discussed the government company exemption, private company exemptions in this video, and section 8 we are going to discuss in our next video. Thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel for more updates.